light that is. And I think that's what we're trying to do today, to bring a bit of light into the darkness through mending and through repairing. So let's get to it. And let's see our first presenter here. I will stop sharing. And first up, let's see, do we have Satsida here today who will present about kitchen cabinets and a standing desk? Satsida?
Sorry, hi, I was still on mute. Hello. Right, so let me start with my kitchen cabinets. For some reason, my camera looks really poor picture, so I do apologize. So I have these cabinets, which are from IKEA, and the melamine that they originally came with peeled off at the top, and IKEA said it was my fault for some reason. I don't understand why. I wasn't closing them particularly hard. So I took the melamine off, scraped it off, and then painted them. But they haven't aged very well. And two things have happened. If you see these grooves, there's grooves here and along here. And at the bottom here, I can't clean that. That doesn't want to clean very well. I've tried scraping, all sorts of kitchen cleaners, industrial cleaners. And also this particular cabinet, because it's under the sink, actually has a little bit of water damage here. So I would like some help with, I know I can just chuck these in the bin and buy new ones, but I would ideally really like not to put them in the bin, even if I have to put in my time into fixing them. I've been looking at possible solutions. I've been talking to some people on Discord. So there's been suggestions to repaint them with epoxy paint, which I have found a little bit confusing, but I've been looking into that. Then to glue a 3mm MDF. The problem is I can't get around the corners. So I am open to suggestions. I've got 23 of these doors. It's actually quite a small kitchen, but lots of cabinet doors. So and
you're joining us from London today so that we can place like, okay.
Yes, I'm in London, yes.
Yep,
yes.
Yep. Just yes. So we know where.
Okay.
Any ideas on the kitchen cabinets or any questions right now? We can have the in-depth ideas in the breakout rooms, but any questions for Satsida or any comments?
Have you considered using caulking, like a bathroom tile caulking that would resist dirt?
No, I haven't, but somebody, is this kind of using a sort of one of those silicone gun type things? Is that what you mean? Caulking?
So what it would do is, number one, it would cover up what you're already experiencing, and it would resist collecting dirt because there wouldn't be a ledge anymore for the dirt to sit on. It would roll off. So you might consider that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like some. Actually, I am quite good with. I fixed my windows recently by myself, so I am quite good with using those type of guns. I think in the UK they call them silicone guns, or yeah, I think they call some type of guns. All right, okay.
Is the problem? I'm sorry. Is the problem on the inside or the outside?
So this is the inside. Inside,
yes,
it still has the original stuff. It's really the outside. I hate this rim. You know, this kind of like, it looks like a picture frame. If there was a way to fill in that picture frame, sorry, I don't know what to call it. I call it frame.
Has the moisture caused the particle board to swell? The moisture that got in there?
Because this is under the sink. I think basically I don't know what everybody else in the world calls them. In the UK, they're called worktops. I think my worktop isn't wide enough. So if I do washing up, because this door is right under the sink, and if I do washing up, I think some of the water drips over the worktop and then goes down onto the door. And that's unfortunate I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to put some kind of a skin thing on top of the worktops and kind of extend their width a little bit so that they kind of hang over the door rather than being straight with the door.
But is the door still solid? Like those doors were built with particle board covered with melamine. And with the moisture gets behind the melamine, it swells and weakens the door.
Yes,
Has
MDF.
that happened?
Yeah.
Okay, we can have more discussion as well, maybe about some of the finer suggestions around the dress. But I think, Satsita, you have another item, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
So I hope this is gonna be, I actually just need to call someone to help me. Just hang on a minute. Rob, can you come here a minute? I'm on the Fixit clinic. I want to show them the desk. I need to go under the desk. I just need to crawl under to turn it on.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to show them the desk.
Okay.
And the problem, as I understand with this desk, is that it goes,
Can you move the
is
steps?
it down and not up, or up and not down?
Move the-
Peter, you have that.
Move the steps. Put the steps.
One side of the desk.
I don't know. What do you do? Oops.
Just tell them to wait and talk to them for a second.
Talk to them. Hello.
Sorry, I'm just trying.
Are you on mute?
Yep, here we are. Yes. So
Hi.
motorized standing desk, Kelly International Corp.
Right, hi,
goes
hello, sorry.
Down but not up. Is that right?
Yes. So, can you see the buttons? Hang on a minute, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yes, so the desk is supposed to go up, but it doesn't make any noise. If I press the down button, could you all hear the noise and it's sort of moving? So it goes down.
Noise, but it is moving. Is that what you're saying? It is
It
moving.
does move down, but it doesn't move up.
How did you get it up to then move down?
Well, I went under the desk and I discovered that there are two bars feeding into the motor, and they are, is that a hexagonal shape? And basically you can use a wrench on them. So I worked out which way I needed to, which is kind of clockwise. I needed to rotate them in a clockwise direction to basically get the desk to go up, and that was a very laborious process. We all tend to use the desk standing up. I tried the solution which I read online, which is where you lower the desk down completely. You unplug it first, you lower it down completely, and then you hold the down key for 10 seconds. And that worked, and that apparently resets the motor. And that worked the first time, but it didn't work the second time because it came up with this fault twice in 24 hours. And I've got, if I just get my phone, I can tell you what make the, it's Kelly.
Yep, I
International
put that
Corp.
from your form in, so we know that.
Yeah.
So if there's any other questions or comments, quick ones at this point. Also, do you have like a flashlight or using your phone as a flashlight if you go under the desk if we need to see something? Have you got that handy?
Yes, I can take pictures under my desk with my phone, and then I can show them to you. Sorry, you guys are on my laptop. So I can't, unfortunately, I can't turn the camera around. I'd have to log out and log in again with my iPad if you wanted me to like turn the camera around. But yes, I can take pictures.
Have you tried lubricating any of the hinges that are in that assembly? Because that may be what's snagging it.
Okay, so hang on a minute. I'll just take a picture of what the legs look like.
Okay, let's move on to the next person.
Yes, I discussed it in the group.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, we will make a breakout room it will be about both cabinets and the desk. So anybody that wants to join in that, maybe Zazita, when we're in the breakout room, you take which item you want to start with.
Yeah, okay,
And then move on to the next one. Okay, thank you, Zazita. All right.
thank you.
I have on my list Debbie from Walnut Creek, California, maybe a bit more light there. Debbie, are you with us to present about actually a light that you need help with the ballast installment? Debbie. And Debbie's going once, going twice. Okay, we'll see if Debbie joins us in a bit. Jack from Antioch with a clock, also from California. Do we have Jack here?
Here, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you, Jack. Okay. Hi.
Okay, great. Just I'm not familiar with the Zoom things, okay?
Yeah.
Just forgive my clumsiness sometimes. All right, so my problem is this clock. This pendulum. The problem is that it won't swing. Once you move it, it only like a swing like a 1 minute or two, then you stop. So I tune up, but nothing worked. That's the problem.
Okay, any comments?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm from California, San Francisco Bay Area. It's close to San Francisco, about 1 hour drive.
So you're
Hey,
talking
welcome.
about, you're
Questions?
talking about the pendulum.
Pendulum, right? So I don't know what's going on. So I bought it in a thrifty store, but it went well, for 1 year. But after that, I don't know. I don't know where it has gone wrong.
And how do you wind it?
Here, these two. You see the two? Or you probably cannot see it. See that?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Right. And I couldn't tell what's the brand. It doesn't show anywhere. I couldn't find it.
Does it still tick even if the pendulum's not working?
So I don't know.
So the question was, does it still tell time?
Beg your pardon?
Does it still tell time accurately?
Yeah. So when it worked, yeah, it showed time accurately, right?
But not now.
No, it doesn't work. So it doesn't swing. So.
No.
Okay, so with
does the hands go round?
What was that?
Does the
The
hands
hands
go
move.
round?
Yeah,
So it keeps time with the hands going round, but the pendulum is not moving, or
right.
the pendulum connected to the
Everything
timekeeping
else is
mechanism.
fine. It just it doesn't swing. You know?
The pendulum is to keep time. It is not to actually make the clock work.
Yeah.
Is the clock sitting on a level base?
Where do you have the clock normally, Jack? Do you have it on something or hanging up?
What was that?
Do you have the clock normally sitting on something or hanging up, or how is it?
Yeah, hang on the
I
wall.
asked about a level base.
Everything worked well. It doesn't swing. I don't know why.
It's a nice gong. Okay, but it sounds like
So
we've got
does
some more troubleshooting to do with Jack's clock. Okay, Jack, we will make a breakout room for you, and we
Okay.
have some repairs going into the breakout rooms to continue troubleshooting. Next, I have Christina from Boston with an air fryer. Christina, are you here?
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Christina. I'm in Boston right now. Here's my air fryer. A few weeks ago, in the middle of frying, it turned off suddenly. It's about a year old. And I have tried different outlets. As you can see, the electricity is working, so it seems to be a problem with the air fryer itself, that it just won't turn on no matter what I do.
Okay, any questions for Christina about the air fryer?
So nothing at all, no lights, nothing.
Nothing.
When it stopped working, did you get a scent of ozone, like burning electrical smell?
No.
No, okay.
Does the door have to be closed for it to light up? In other words, like on a microwave, it won't work unless the door is closed. So just curious if there's an interlock on the door, or is there a panel that lights up normally when you plug it in? Is there a panel that lights up normally
Yeah,
when you
usually
plug?
this part here lights up. And I think there might be a mechanism that you're talking about. Right here, there is like a little
Sure.
button that I
Okay.
think triggers,
All right.
but nothing has kind of
Yeah.
turned on yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds serious.
No, guys, this
But-
might be a fuse or a thermal fuse. And so, Christina, do you have any, like, do you like a Phillips head screwdriver to take it, to open it up a little bit?
I have some tools here, but might need a little help figuring out which would be the right one.
Okay, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Peter-
I think if
Peter,
you have the screwdrivers, that would be probably
Yeah.
what we need for this.
Peter beat me to it. It is possibly start looking at a fuse. Now, I don't know whether where you live, you have plugs with fuses in. This may be a very English thing that we have fuses in all of our plugs. It may be that yours don't. Do you know?
I don't. I'm in the US. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
they,
think
they don't have fuses.
I thought some of them now did, but perhaps others in the US can
No.
advise they don't. Okay.
Is it just a 2-pin connection?
Yeah. Okay. In that case, there may be a fuse inside, and the thermal fuse simply means that the thing has got too hot, and as a protection for you, it will blow a thermal fuse, one that's dependent upon temperature, whereas the other kind of fuse will be dependent upon some electrical fault to cause that to disconnect.
Or it could be the micro switch when you shut the door is not operating properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, my experience.
First thing
from a
to
number of
check on these
repair
kitchen
cafes-
appliances is where the plug was in the wall. When they're plugged and unplugged, the cord gets flimsy there, and sometimes it got so few wires still connected, they burn off.
Thank you.
Yeah, my experience with thermal fuses is that, quite often they'll just go randomly. Could be manufacturing defect, could be whatever, but unless you have a multimeter or some way of checking continuity, you're not going to get very far with this.
Did you take a look on YouTube to see if there's any, sometimes an appliance will be recalled also. So you may take a look and see if it's been recalled, because they may give you a brand new one. Or if you go on YouTube, you'll see that some other people had the same problem and they show some fixing techniques. So you may want to be able to check that out. Just go on YouTube and look for that device and see if there's any suggestions on repairing it.
Yeah,
And also, as I said, take a look to see if it's been recalled.
in fact, Peter Muir has actually made a lovely video, haven't you, Peter, on replacing the actual inline fuse.
Right. So my concern is that for an air fryer, this is actually such a high temperature device. I wonder if it even has an inline thermal fuse. I mean, we see them in space heaters and stuff, but typically things that are going to get up to 500 degrees like this, 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, guys. It's not clear that, I don't know. This one I'm not sure of, but let's go into a breakout room with her. And Frank, this whole thing with getting, manufacturers recalls and fixing warranties, what's the fun in that? That's why we're here.
We'll see if we fix it, but maybe that
And we don't have to fix it today, okay? Let's move
Right.
her forward a little bit, and we can either bring her to Discord or bring her back or whatever, to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah,
Yep.
just my
Okay, Christina,
my
we're gonna make
favorite
a breakout
question
room for
before
you.
we, my favorite question before we leave this is one we always ask is, does Christina have a multimeter?
I'm not sure what that is, so I'm gonna go with no.
I think
But thank
Christina
you.
has said she might have some screwdriver tools here. So we able to get in. We might be able to check the plug, which has been suggested as well. And we might be able to check YouTube. So we have a few suggestions here, Christina, but that doesn't mean, I mean, it might be that you come back with a multimeter. Okay, but we'll
This is a multimeter.
decide what the next steps are. Yes, this is a multimeter and it will check then exactly where a fault might be with the, yeah. But if you don't have it this time, it's not the end of the world. Then we figure out if that's the thing you need in the breakout room and you come back. And we have multimeters around as well that we can figure out, okay, you're here in Boston and we do have some repair cafes in Boston. So, and there's some Fixit clinics in Boston. So we'll get you to a multimeter if that's what is decided. So no worries. All right. But we'll move on to Francis is our next presenter here. Francis, you are joining us from San Mateo, so back to the other side of the US. Hopefully, I guess you're getting some sun there. We're, as you can see, I'm sitting in the dark here in Sweden. But let's hear, Francis, you've got some earbuds that you might need some help with. Francis?
Can you hear me?
Are you the Francis with the earbuds? Maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Francis,
Yes.
please send your earbuds.
Okay. Hi. I'm Francis. I'm from Foster City, California, which is near where Jack is, near San Francisco in the Bay Area. And I do have a Plantronics earbud that I've had for at least 6 years, maybe older. And the long story short is that it went through the washer. I had it in my pocket and a jacket, and it went through the washing machine and the dryer. And I didn't notice that it was there until I got this jacket that I hardly ever wear, and I felt something in the pocket, and there it was. So ever since then, there's usually a voice prompt, and I'll show you the item here. So here's the earbud. And usually when you turn it on, it turns green. And then there's a voice prompt that says it's pairing. It says power on, and then it says pairing. So it pairs with your phone, your cell phone. But now there's no voice prompt. There's no voice anything that comes on. And when you push this button, it's supposed to have a little red light that goes on, and that doesn't go on. But it does seem to be able to charge, because when I put the charger in, there's a little red light that blinks constantly. So I know that there's something working, but I didn't know how to fix it. So it went into the e-waste bin that I have here, and occasionally I'll take it to the recycling. But then I saw the email that came through for the Fixit clinic, so I thought maybe this is a chance to see if it can be fixed. I don't have a lot of hope for it, but I thought I'd try. And I'm not, I like doing kind of mechanical Fixit things, but I'm not very good at electronics. So I was a little afraid to do anything with it, so I haven't done anything at all. So that's my story.
Okay, comments, questions? We have a few in the chat here, like, does it finish charging? Could it be a dead battery?
I've had a look on YouTube, and there is an actual YouTube video on this particular model. And basically the guy shows you how to strip it down, but there's not much hope of repairing it. But we can speak to Francis about that and get her to have a look at it.
Okay.
Yep. So we can take a look at how far, even getting into it, and then what it looks like. Yeah.
Okay.
It's if we have the video, we can see how to get in.
Yeah.
Perhaps. But we have some questions about the battery and the charging as well that we can look into a bit more in a breakout room. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Francis.
Thank you.
All right. Next I have on my list, Elisa, again, going back to the other side of the US to Cambridge, Massachusetts. Alicia, are you here, or Elisa, with a tea strainer issue? Is Elisa?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll be right there.
Okay, go ahead and show us.
All right. So I have this tea strainer here. You can see, so it's a bucket strainer, and then the other piece is right here in my hand. I can't move the camera there. Yeah, it's too bad because it's a nice thing. It's a hyper fine mesh, so it works really well for tea like rooibos. Yeah, and it just snaps off. I've used it only for about a year, and I'm not sure. It looks like metal on metal, so I'm not even sure how I'd put it back on without a solder, and the solder might melt it. So, but I liked it a lot, so I thought I'd check before I just recycled it. Spot welded originally.
Yeah, so you're right about solder. Anything that has heat and water, solder will very quickly not hold. So solder is not a solution. Welding. So again, yeah, you have to have access to a small welding device for that because it involves heat and water.
Welding, okay. I thought so, yeah.
You might find an auto mechanic who might be willing to do a quick little spot weld for you. Somebody, like, find somebody who has some welding capability. Oh, also the that makerspace in Artisans Asylum in Somerville, Massachusetts, might also be able to weld it for you. But basically, you need to find somebody with a welder who can do a couple of quick spot welds for you would be ideal.
A not so permanent solution could be super glue or epoxy.
I was hoping to try super glue. It just didn't seem like it would hold up under boiling heat and water.
No, it won't.
Yeah. But I didn't know that Artisans Island might do it. I was thinking I'd have to pay, $100 an hour for a welder, and it would take just a few minutes. I'd have to pay for an hour. I don't know. But these are great ideas. Artisans Asylum and metal around it. So
people at work.
So many. Wow, in the chat. Sorry.
People that work on jewelry have good welding equipment for small stuff. I have lunch with a guy that I worked with at IBM, and he does custom jewelry, and he's got, small welders that would weld that no problem. So, somebody that does stuff with, jewelry place would have the welding equipment.
Yeah, ours is also maker spaces are usually where we're sending welding as well. Like, just.
Thank you. Oh, these are great ideas. I'm really impressed. Thank you.
I'm just wondering then, Elisa, if we need a breakout room, or if are there going to be more ideas in a breakout room, or have we reached our limit with the tea?
No, there's some great tips in the chat. I'll write these down. I think I'm set. I already have good ideas, and I know where the asylum is, and
okay.
I know a jeweler, so thank you so much.
Okay, great. If you have any more suggestions, then please put them in the chat for Elisa to check out. Yeah. But maybe we leave that repair there when we follow up. And we'd love to hear how it went. If you find a welder, please report back to us and let us know how it went.
Okay. And guys, I'd like to add one more thing. I've been looking at this idea. Maybe there are some high temperature epoxies that are also non-toxic that might be good for her. I mean,
yeah, we look at anything used to repair, like around aquariums as well, because it has to be non-toxic.
You can use some copper wire to make a second handle just by wrapping it around the actual strainer and then twisting it. It's a nice, simple solution.
Oh, that's true. Wow, okay. Great, thank you so much for the idea. Yeah, I'll try that first, I think.
I quite often use old coat hangers, like the wire coat hangers. They're usually with a strong pair of pliers or 2 pairs of pliers. You can usually get a coat hanger to do a lot of things. So that might be solution number 1, instead of that you could do yourself without any special equipment.
Yes, I have tools and I have metal coat hangers. So.
Okay, really so it's either a hack or a welding job.
Right.
Creative hacks and creative welding jobs. Thank you very much, Elisa, for coming. Again, if you have anything else, feel free to hang. We can always come up with even more ideas if you want to explore any of these that you've been given a bit further. We can always make a breakout room or just have it in the main room. And that's fine. Do I have Andrea here with a microwave turntable motor issue joining us from Great Britain, from East Sussex? No? Yes, Andrea? I haven't found an Andrea in the participant list, but again, people come in with different names. So I just want to make sure I give the chance. Andrea? No? Okay, then I move on to Angelina, joining us from California again. Angelina, are you there and ready to present about the kitchen cabinet drawer? I do see an Angelina.
Hi, I'm here.
Welcome. Tell us about it.
Yes, I'm Angie, and I have a cabinet drawer. So this is the drawer. So when I open the drawer, it doesn't slide, right? It come and then it's very hard to get out. And then when it come out, it's like this, or it dropped. So I took it out and I looked at it. So this is the back of the drawer, and it has a roller. And I have a picture of the other side of the drawer. I'm going to share this on my screen. Oh, I cannot. Okay. Who's disabled this? Okay, so
hold
so
on.
I cannot share.
I can let you.
Try
One
again.
moment.
Try again.
Oh, try again. Okay. Okay, so this is, can you see my picture?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the drawer itself. So it has two sides and then there is a middle thing. So it looks like maybe someone already did something to it. So there is, I don't know, or it has three slide things. So I can see this thing is falling down. So my question is, if I fix this, do I have to put something on both sides of this two thing before it will roll?
Looks like there are two wheel runners either side that need to follow up on when you put the drawer back in.
It looks like they're different height too, Angelina. It looks like your right on the picture is lower. So they may be loose. And I think that's why your drawer actually comes out crooked. Look at the runners on the left and right. And it looks like they might be loose. And I can't really make it out, but they don't look even. So I think that's your issue with it coming out. The center part is actually where that roller should be sitting in to make that drawer come out easier. So, but it's a left and right slider that are the issue for you.
Oh, the left and the right. So this and this is not even.
Yeah, they look on your picture, they look like they're different height. It looks like the left one is actually higher than the right one.
I see. Okay. So have to adjust the height of this.
Yeah, that's where I would be looking at is at those runners. They look different height. It could just be the picture, but they look different height. That's where I would start checking on.
Okay. So do I need to get like a roller on both sides of my drawer?
You shouldn't have to. That center bond, you see that center bond in your picture, it looks bent and it looks loose. Take a look at this because that's where actually that roller that you showed us on the bottom of your drawer. It should actually slide into that one. That's the slider for the roller mechanism.
Oh, okay. So the rolling is in the middle and the both sides is to balance it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because
I think your drawer is okay. It looks like the slides are just either off or have come loose from the holder. So that's where I would start.
Okay.
Also, I noticed that when you touched the roller, it looked loose. So I think the roller also in the drawer at the back of the drawer probably needs tightening.
Yes.
It looked loose.
Yes, it is. It is loose. Okay. Yeah,
So
because
you might have to tighten the existing screws, or you
Mhm.
might have to add a few more screws,
Oh, okay.
possibly.
Possibly,
But we can
yes.
see in a breakout room. We can try an error a bit here too. We do have some questions about whether you have a level bar.
Level bar, I have one, but it's very long. Yeah, I think I have.
Question was whether there are holes on the side. I wasn't sure about that.
We call it a spirit level in the UK.
Okay, I have a long, like this long, yeah, the level bar. So I need a shorter one.
What you need to do is to make sure that both the holders at the front of the drawer holder are the same height.
Okay.
So that they actually work together rather than
Mhm.
opposing each other.
Okay, so I can put it between the two
It's just to make
rollers
sure
to make
it's
sure they're
level.
the same. I see.
Have
Okay.
a look at the fitting to see if it's actually secure, because that it may have
Mhm.
dropped because it's loose.
Okay. I'll try that. Yes.
Yep. But Angelina, I think we can have a breakout room where we can maybe walk through some of the things that you can try with you and see you have that might help and what works and try a few things.
Okay, that would be great.
Do a breakout room. I just want to make sure at this point. So I've gone through the list that I have from kindly provided by Peter, I should say. And I want to see if there's anybody that I've missed or anybody else that has something that they wanted to present for help repairing today before we open the breakout rooms. Anyone? Okay. Then I am going to, at this stage, open the breakout rooms again.
Wait a minute, before we do it, we need the holiday photo. Okay.
Oh,
so,
we have to do a holiday photo.
So everybody, all right, so let's, because if you don't take a picture, it didn't happen. So I'm gonna.
This is true. This was in the email as part of the agenda today. So everybody look pretty.
Okay. And for those of you on the perimeter, can you please squeeze in so that we can get everybody in the photo? Okay. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you very much for your cooperation on that.
Thank you. You're one of the best photographers. You don't take 10 shots. Okay, then without further ado, I'm going to open the breakout rooms. Now, when I do, you should be able to choose which breakout room you go into. If you have, for any reason, trouble getting into a breakout room, just let me know either in the chat or by unmuting yourself, and I can make you or one of the co-hosts can get you into one of those breakout rooms. So here we go. All right, you should now be able to see a pop-up for the breakout rooms and be able to choose to go into a breakout room.
And please, people with items, come back to the main room and report back what happened so that we can get a record of that and figure out next
Once
steps.
you're ready to go, come back and report in the main room. Don't leave the meeting, leave the room and come back and tell us what happened. Thanks.
And we'll be partying here and eating our Lucas Eder buns. Whoops.
Yes, can you please send one of those over? I'm not baking mine till tomorrow. Awesome. Okay, I see people going. Again, if you see that somebody's alone in their breakout room, if you know anything about their item, please go help them in their breakout room, even if it's just asking questions to get them moving along a little bit in their repair. Okay, now I think we don't have anybody alone. That's good.
And remember, we don't have to solve this today, okay? There's lots of other options for figuring out how to get people help and or move things along.
Right. Jack, are you able to get to the breakout room for your item? I think I'll put you in there. The air fryer is popular here. It's because it was the most mysterious. What was wrong with it?
I thought it was great that Frances had all her tools laid out, ready to go with that Plantronics thing. Man, she's, I mean, I don't have much hope for it, but.
No, earbuds I also was reading about just for my prior experience. Did not have much, but yeah. She's right.
I don't find the breakout rooms on my iPad here. I don't see them.
Frank, is there one that you want to go to and I can maybe just send you there and it'll show up?
Well, you know what, I'll have to go look at the list because I don't have them in my mind, so.
Okay, well, let me tell you, there's Sadina's cabinets and desks, there's Jack's pendulum clock, there's Christina's air fryer, which is pretty busy right now. Frances's earbuds has four repairs in there with her, and Angie's drawers, there's just Bob and Steven in there for the drawers on the rollers.
You know, I don't think I can add much to any of those at this point. I mean, it sounds like you got a good crowd anyhow, so. But maybe just put me in one that has the least amount of people, and I'll dream.
Okay, all right. You can just add to the discussion because I think I'm going to send you to Angie's because Angie's was a bit of trial and error there, and I think you'll have some good ideas on what to try next. Yep. All right, let me try here. Okay, do you see something, Frank?
Hey, join breakout room.
Yay! All right, I think you got in. Good. I think
Charlie, Fang Ming, Benson.
It's just how.
Right. Then Charlie, do you want to go into a breakout room? Are you having trouble?
I'm going to go in Angie's.
Okay.
So Natalie, you get to see how the sausage is made.
I'm so impressed with everything I've seen so far.
Have you been hosting? Because I missed the last Brampton one. Were you hosting, Natalie, or are you going to be hosting?
I'm brand new, so I will be hosting in the future. Erin is my co-host, and she's here today. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Peter makes everything easy.
So guys, the hard thing I'm struggling with now is finding more people to present. So usually we do a good job from Ontario or from Brampton Libraries. Yeah. So if you want to bring in all those other groups from like the London Library, all the other libraries.
Yeah, we're gonna invite them again. I'll send out a note this week to let them know now that we've nailed down our date.
Right.
And do you remember Shamila's necklace from last time? I've got all the tools for her. I'm gonna see her this afternoon or this evening. Pass them over. So maybe the next one she'll come back and report back.
Okay, great.
Nice. Yeah, ours is that we're still doing in-person events, so they're going. So anybody local is going to go to the in-person. That said, I mean, right, we're getting recommendations back, and I think that will help people want to show again. But what I love about this format is that people that are ready really quite a lot virtually, and especially if they're ready with some tools. So yeah, sometimes it works better than in person.
For sure. Well, you can see bigger pieces of things. Like I've seen people fix what was it, the drain once? You couldn't bring that to an in-person event.
No, we've done sliding doors and things, and I mean the cabinets too. Like if you only bring the drawer, then we only have half the problem. Yeah. No, this is very good.
It's such an interesting dynamic to see into people's lives as well, where they're like fidgeting with their cameras and trying to get things to work so that they can show you adequately. It's a different experience to just be in their world for a little bit.
Very true.
It's definitely a different product than the in-person events, and thinking about how you leverage what this platform offers. Yeah, we can't touch it. We can't. There's so many things that are frustrating, exasperating, and a lot of my in-person Fixit coaches haven't made the transition because they're just not that interested in this type of activity. But I'm hoping to do this long enough that we start to attract a different type of person for whom this is something that is of interest to them. In addition to being able to look at the big stuff, in addition to being able to serve places, underserved populations that otherwise wouldn't have access to this for one reason or another, there are lots of positives for these. So the virtual, I'm trying to figure out how that augments in person if and when we ever return to in person, because the longer the pandemic lingers, the more prescient this looks at some level. So, but although,
I mean, for us, it has also been I'm trying to, they're not here now because we have a in person tomorrow. So it's a big ask for our volunteers to do a double header. But for me also, it's a good learning experience and mentoring, because we have pretty young volunteers who have said, I want to learn more. And this is one place to, learn as well from really experienced repairers. So I encourage them, and they've remarked on that anytime that they've come, that they, wow, the level of experience and the things that they had never thought about before. So I think that is a big part of this too. It can be seen as a way to connect globally and to help upskill yourself, or just start thinking a bit and with that repair mentality.
Yeah, the Discord server, that's what that's intended to do as well. So invite all the local repairers who to get on the Discord, because we're doing a lot of repairing there. I would love to see if you could activate Discord in real time with your in-person events, and then we could really have global repair happening all the time.
This is true. That's a good idea. We're not connected to Discord while we're doing the events, but we should be. Yeah,
you could live stream to Discord.
Ming, are you looking to get into a room, or you're just listening to us?
I was away for lunch just now, and now I just came back. I feel good. Listen to what you are talking about, and.
Do you want to watch some repair going on is the question, because we can get you into a breakout room if you can't see the breakout rooms yourself and see what the fixing going on is. If you want to watch some fixing, we're not fixing in the main room, we're just chatting. No action here.
I would stay with you.
Okay. But it's good that you're speaking now, because when you were up in my view, first I only saw London, so I assumed you were joining from the UK. So until you said I'm having lunch, I didn't realize not that London.
No, I'm from London, Canada.
It all makes sense now. And where is London? It's Ontario. Okay, I see now.
Yes, Ontario.
Ontario. Okay.
It's we used to have a local repair activities before the pandemic, and now everything holds. So it's about almost 2 years. I feel it's hard to fix things online. But
when you're successful, it feels so good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were just saying it's a little different. It makes you. It might take more than one time seeing them. You don't have the tools.
I helped one with a woman had a clock with neon in it, I remember, and we talked her through basically taking the clock apart and getting to the motor, and then finding where the motor was on eBay where she could order it. And she was so excited when we were finished that because everyone told her, "Oh, I can't do anything with that." and she did it. And we talked her through it, and it was like not the simplest repair. We had to cut the wires to the neon because we were afraid the tubes would break. So there were all kinds of bizarre complications, but she got it apart. So that's like I said, it's extra special when you can make it work.
Yeah.
Hey, a bunch of people just came back. So do we have a report back from somebody? Wow, a bunch of people. Christina, everyone's.
What's happened is that
I got kicked out of my breakout room.
Christina's room, the breakout rooms all come back to the main room for some reason.
Yes.
Yeah, the
breakout we were all sent back.
But the breakout room says it's still going.
Well,
we
we
were in
were
Christina's
mid,
breakout room, and
we were
what
mid
happened was
conversation, and we got tossed out.
we got tossed out. Yeah.
I was talking to Mike, and it just kicked me out of my room.
I think we could see a place to get back into breakout rooms.
Yeah, it says, oh, wait, what happened?
Oops.
Do you see it now? I don't know what happened.
Somebody might have closed the room by mistake.
They're back. The breakout rooms are back again.
Oh, okay, I haven't touched anything, I can say.
Maybe one of our co-hosts did something.
Okay. Yeah, now the breakout room should be back. Sorry, we're getting excited that things suddenly got repaired all at once.
Like, wow, that was fast.
But it
So
was
we
only
do have
one
a
breakout
report.
room that came back, right? That's weird.
Okay.
Then I had a open breakout rooms again. So
Okay, Francis's looks like Francis's group is back. Wait, no, Bob.
okay, or Bob. Yeah.
Oh, Bob.
Yes. So we had Angie's drawer. And I think we determined that she's missing a number of pieces of the drawer. She had a second drawer, which was great because it was missing different pieces in the first drawer. So we basically sent her to, and she lives in Foster City, very near me. So I was able to give her the specific hardware stores that are likely to have these parts for her. And she felt, I think, comfortable going down. And as we noted before, the center runner glide needs to be reattached in the back. And Steve noted that the front screw was cocked and probably was causing problems. So anyway, it seems fairly straightforward if she can find the parts.
Still discussing it though. They're comparing drawers now.
Yes. So to speak.
Okay, great, good. Okay, so we had some mishap with the breakout rooms, and one breakout room came back, but I don't know if that's, you didn't have any problems with the breakout rooms. You just came back to report.
No, ours we wound down in a hurry, and I think we concluded just as we were tossed out.
Okay.
So for us, it worked just fine, but it was a coincidence.
Okay.
Than
Okay.
intention, so.
Perfect. Okay.
So I don't know if Angie's still on. You might
Angie
wanna
is
check.
still in the breakout room, so the comparing of the drawers is still happening. If you want to go back into that one, or you're welcome to join a different breakout room.
All right. Well, maybe I'll go back and see how Angie is doing then.
Yep.
And see if we're really done. Thanks.
Maybe it forced everybody to come and report mid repair. Whatever happened. Yeah, no, I have no idea what happened.
You know, one thing I was going to mention, when we helped her, this woman with a clock, what would have been really, really helpful would be for her to add a flashlight she could have shined inside of the item so we could have seen it. So might be something to mention is when you send out, if you have a small flashlight, that would be helpful in some cases where it's really hard to see, because we were just looking inside the clock and there was like this black blob there and we didn't know what it was. And he says, well, does it look like this? Does it look like this? And finally, it took us about 30 minutes since we got it, we figured it out. But it's like, you know, you have very little to go by when you just see a blob, and how do we get the blob apart, kind of thing.
This is true. This is what I was thinking with the desk too. It's hard to see under a desk without a flashlight or something shining. And we have that today. We'll see.
A friend gave me it's like a otoscope. It's like a camera on the end of it like a wand. You could like feed it down inside your wall or whatever. But you could also stick it inside of an item to get a focus on what's inside, and at least get a little more information. Now I should keep. Actually, I can't do anything with it remotely, but that'd be another thing that people could actually use to get a little more information about what's going on.
Tom, do you need help getting into a breakout room?
No, I just popped out for a minute. I'm gonna jump back in. She was the person was finishing up.
Was it? It wasn't Angie, or
It was the clock. I was in the
Jack's pendulum clock.
the clock, right? Before that, I was in the one with the earbud that had been run through the washer and dryer, and I think she was basically in the middle of getting it apart. So I kind of popped out to see what else was going on. So
Yeah,
I'll
just some chatting.
take a quick look again and see what's going on.
Okay,
an air fryer.
You can be reporting back, spy for us.
All right.
And
All
let
right,
us
I'll hop and see what's going on with the air fryer.
Cool. Okay, and let's see. Anyone else that needs to go in that got, no, I don't see anybody that got.
And Natalie, you're welcome to go looking around if you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pop into one or two.
Okay.
Same. I'm gonna pop into one.
Did I disappear at all? When the
No,
break
you're good. I suspect that one of the co-hosts accidentally clicked close all rooms.
It is the big red button, isn't it? Yeah, that's easy. But I mean, it seemed to go fine. You just open it up again and fine. And then I could tell someone else was opening it up too because it toggled. Like, yeah. But good.
So thank you as always for doing this. So, it's really wonderful.
My pleasure. I mean, you said it all. It's very easy. Yeah, no, it's very nice to catch up too, because I feel like, yeah, we've been running these now in person, but I think I'm going to propose that we also really try to make one of these at least like every few months, because I think that we need to upskill ourselves and to broaden our horizons as repairers too, constantly, because we're a very small group here, and this is our way to be part of a larger community. And we keep talking about going across and seeing what the Danes are doing, but we're restricted. We're going across the bridge half the time. So this is our way of going and seeing what others are doing with repair. We don't have to go to Denmark. We can come online and see what everybody's doing.
Okay, it looks like Jack, if you're back and want to tell us about your clock, we'd love to hear it. But it looks like Jack disappeared offline. Jack, if you can unmute.
Hey!
Unmute.
Wait, you're
unmute.
muted. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Yeah, you seem very happy, but you're unmuted. So.
Wait, can you hear me now? Okay, great. So thanks for Greg and Bill. Yeah, I got some very, very wonderful suggestions. So I'm going to look into it. Yeah, really good. Thanks.
What were the suggestions, if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah, they suggest because there's certain video in YouTube teach people how to oil and clean the clock. That's probably the problem of my pendulum. So yeah, and they introduce some oil where I can get the oil to to add to my clock. I think that should be the problem, because I was once told by a friend said that you just need to oil it, but he didn't explain how to. So yeah, I think that's probably the reason why the clock doesn't swim. Yeah.
Okay, so you try some maintenance, yeah, and if that doesn't work, then you come back and we do something else. But hopefully that is the problem, and that's what you need to do.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So Jack, you're welcome to look at other things we are fixing, or you can just leave. But thank you very much for being part of this.
Yeah, you can go see because you saw everything being presented, so you can also go see what else is being fixed.
Thank you all. Thank you all. It's been wonderful. It's been wonderful. Thank you. I'm leaving.
Thanks,
Okay.
Jack.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, and that goes for, let's see, no, it does. I don't see any others that are unassigned. Everybody else went into another breakout room. Excellent. Everybody's keen to repair today. Tom's back to report. You're muted, Tom.
If they have a dead air fryer, and nothing on the display, no lights, no nothing, and they're trying to decide how to get it if they want to take it apart, and they're trying to figure out where all the screws are. So that's kind of where they are. I think pretty much the screws need to come out for anything. And they said if it was a blown temperature sensor, it would have displayed an error code, but it's not displaying anything, so it's a power thing, probably a main fuse or something. That's just my guess. I was just on the road here, coming back from lunch.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out.
I'm home now. You want to see it's lovely here today. Let me see point.
Where are you joining from?
I'm in Cary, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
We actually have another Bill from Cary who I know from our local repair cafe. And he's really sharp. He's in a clock room right now, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, it's funny. You find I come on here and I see kind of the same people from different. I see the folks from England and from Canada and such. So it's always fun. And we do our local repair cafe thing, and obviously I miss that. But there's something kind of different about the global things where you're seeing these same people that you would never meet in real life, and you're kind of working. That's kind of a different vibe than the in-person thing. So and the guy running our repair cafe is not really interested in doing the remote events, but I think it's kind of fun. It lets you work on your skills and get exposed to more stuff. To me, it's just always like the thrill of the hunt. It's like what's going on and what could it be and those kind of things. And those are always, I mean, that's fun whether or not you're there. So.
It's true. And we just had a report back, Tom, from the clock. And the suggestion was that he needs to oil and maintain, and he has some videos to watch, and he'll try that and see if that helps with the pendulum. So it was already good, but I see some other repairs just came back. Angie, do you have an update for us too?
Yes, I got a lot of help from Jack and Bob. So yeah, so I'm going to Home Depot tomorrow to get the runner, and also for the smaller drawer. Well, actually I have two drawers. I show you guys the smaller one. I have another bigger drawer, has a similar issue, but they have a different hardware setup. So yeah, so I'm going to buy the parts and try to fix it. Yeah, thank you very much. It is really helpful. Yeah.
Great. Thanks for reporting back. Thanks for sharing your story. So you're welcome to stay if you want, and to go watch another repair if you want to go into it, or to leave, either way. But thanks so much for coming, and good to hear that you got some help today.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, and have a Merry Christmas. Yeah.
You too.
Bye.
Yes, Merry Christmas. We are God Jul here in Sweden, we say.
We have Angie's drawer.
That was Angie's drawer. Yes.
I'm going to pop into Angie's drawer and see what's going on in there.
Yeah, so Angie's drawer is done. She just reported
Okay.
back, and Jack's clock is done.
Okay.
So those two are down. So we just have going Francis's earbuds.
Francis is still working away probably. What about Sadzina?
Sadzina, because she had both the cabinets and the desk. Yeah, so
Okay.
two.
Okay.
And there's
I'll
not
go poke.
that many in there. So if you want to jump in there, there aren't that many.
I'll
There's
hop
still
in
a
and see what's
lot
going.
in Christina's air fryer.
I'll hop in and see what's going on.
Cool.
Tom, tell her to try that reset procedure again, where she lowers it all the way and then raises it all the way, because that should fix it 99 and 44/100% of the time.
You were saying something as I was popping out.
I was just saying,
Yeah.
make sure she does that reset procedure. She said if she lowers it all the way to the bottom and holds it for 10 seconds, then it should work coming up and down. Just because that's sort of the fail-safe mechanism, you know, when this sort of thing happens. So unless she's stripped some gears or done something wonky, that should work 99% of the time.
And this is like a cabinet or something?
It's a standing desk, motorized standing desk.
Oh, it's the power on the desk, right? Okay. Yep. So she needs to lower it all the way down to reset it. Okay.
Yeah. And Frank, do you need help going into another room?
I just want to make sure you're fine, Frank, if you want to go into another room.
No, I'm fine. I'm actually, I'm doing a little work with some stuff right while we're working here. So I've got a little antenna I'm working on. You could see something in my background over, let me see, like right about there. So I have an 11-year-old kid building antennas for ham radio, and I'm working on developing a better procedure. So I'm okay. So I'm just going to wait and enjoy the entertainment.
Sounds good. So better procedure for the antenna you're working on.
Yeah, it's normally this is a connector for the that makes, well, let me just do this. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. So the way this is made, this is a pipe cap. The plastic is a pipe cap, and the antenna has two parts to it. It's got the vertical section, and then it's got these side guys, which are called radials. And so the the center of this, oh, I gotta remember where to. So the center of this connector, it's a coax connector. It's got a center conductor and a shield. So the center of it comes up, and then let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so the antenna itself that comes through the top has a screw hole on it, and then this connector, this solder lug, gets screwed into that, and I think you could probably see it. Yeah. However, I have to trim the top of this off so that it lines up, and then a screw goes through, and then this whole thing slides through the top of the pipe cap. Yeah, here's one right here. There's the pipe cap, and then there's the 4 holes.
And so what frequencies are this? Is this optimized? Is this ham radio frequency optimization?
Oh yeah, it's 146 megahertz. But it'll also work on a third harmonic, so it'll also work at 440 megahertz.
And this is for indoor or outdoor? Indoor installation? Or?
Yeah, I actually, one guy put one outdoors. He's got it up on a PVC pipe, and he's got it outdoors. And I wouldn't recommend it for outdoors, but I mean, he's trying it. So we'll get a report on it in a year or two from now and see if it holds up.
Yeah, because those antennas rust. I mean, I have some of those outside, and they've stopped. I mean, you certainly can't put them in and out anymore.
I think these are stainless steel. They're not.
The last tip, the final tip part is not. So the final extension will rust. I'm almost sure.
Well, you know what? That doesn't affect the antenna though.
Yeah,
No, see,
okay.
I got a magnet. I got a magnet here, and the only place I think the screw going through this is steel. Yeah. So what I would do in this, again, most people will put these near their operating room or up in the attic somewhere. So you'd run a coax cable down into, well, that's what this one is.
So do you have a grant from the Ham Radio Society for this? Because they've got all this grant money they're giving people for doing projects with kids and stuff on this stuff.
No, I don't have any grant money. What's going to happen is this kid's going to sell these at our local ham radio ham fests. So he'll get $20 a piece for them, and they'll put the money in his pocket. So yeah, but if there's a grant available, hey, make more of these. I mean, this is actually, it's a very nice project to do. And even drilling the pipe cap. Well, it's not here. It's in the other room.
Meanwhile, we might have an update from Tom.
To make the pipe cap, you got to drill 4 holes. Right in the right spots. Right? So everything lines up. So here I have this piece of wood. See, and there's a hole, and there's another hole on that side, another hole on that side. So then you put the pipe cap in before it's a brand new one, and then now you just take the drill.
Yeah.
And it drills. And then you could pin it, like you could take one of these elements and pin it once you drill the first hole. Actually, what I do is I have it locked. I have a screw that goes in and locks this in place. But then you can put this in a drill press, or just use a regular hand drill. And this plastic drill is very easy. So this kid just had no problem drilling it. And he's very mechanically adept. So
So I don't know if you saw, but I just put in the chat. I don't know if you have access to the chat. The Amateur Radio Digital Communication Society has these grants. They'll give grants from, a lot. I mean, from $1,000 to $1.5 million for grants.
Well, hey, I'm all for seeing kids do stuff. I mean, I started out, I got my ham license when I was 13, but I was building stuff when I was a little kid. So, I mean, I've got a
Des, are you here to report back on something?
Sort of. Reporting back most importantly on these. They're rather,
right.
That you just whipped up during the repair.
Well, actually, funny you should say that. What happened was that about 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's about 4 hours ago, I thought, yeah, I really must do this. So I mixed up the dough and got it all ready. And well, the ingredients, and threw it all in the bread machine to make the dough, which is the quickest way. And forgot that it actually takes about 2.5 hours in the bread machine. So I knew it was coming out of the bread machine 5 minutes before this meeting was due to start. And so what I did, well, my wife kindly said, well, don't worry, I'll roll it all out for you. And she's just come up and thrust these in my hand. Far too hot to eat, of course, but they're all right.
Very nice, very impressive. Ooh, with the glaze as well, the butter glaze.
So do you have saffron in them and everything? I mean, because we were talking about.
Absolutely, and I've made them several times since last year, since you handed out that recipe last year, or whenever it was, and it's a great treat. They're really nice.
Yeah, we even combine here because we have lots of different kinds of sweet buns. We have different days for different sweet buns, but we have one that's like a cinnamon roll, caneel boule is called, and another one that is cardamom boule. And we combined cardamom and the saffron together, and now you can get a cardamom saffron boule.
Wow.
Like a lussicata with of a cinnamon bun, let's say, cardamom. It's also extremely lovely. Yeah, we do buns here, I have to say.
What's this?
Oh, these are apple turnovers, and they they're filled with apple, and they are just a handful of goodies. So that's my treat. But I also have, while we're here, am I unmuted? Yeah. This is a radio I built probably when I was about 9 years old. And it was from Popular Mechanics encyclopedia. And it runs on a couple of vacuum tubes. There's 2 vacuum tubes in it, and 1 battery for the filament, and well, the other batteries aren't in it. But this was a portable radio, used 2 tubes, and it was a regenerative, we call it regenerative detector, and it'll still work if I put some more batteries in it. But the antenna is around the perimeter. It's wound around the perimeter of the box. The box is made out of masonite, and it's homemade, so you can kind of see the wire over here coming through, and it's the original tape. So, but yeah, it's fun to build stuff. Just AM broadcast, that's all.
Nice.
It's a real antique radio, and can be shown in the museum.
And the funny thing is, I didn't have the original article on building it, and I went to a Habitat Restore, and they had a free section, and they had a whole bunch of Popular Mechanics encyclopedias in there. And wouldn't you know it, the one that I built this radio out of was in there. And so now I have the original document. So it was really a good find. I said, this is something, there's a reason I got to keep this. Of course I'm going to keep it.
Frank, I have a question. In the time today that the internet is all over everybody's life, are hands still very active in their doing like before?
Well, what's happening is we have so many different aspects that ham radio people can get involved in. So there's digital type of stuff. There's like emergency preparedness type of stuff. There's just plain old chit-chatting like we're doing here right now. In fact, there's some people that are very, very smart. There's a fella that recently, he's got a Nobel Prize for some work he's done with, like doing digital communication type stuff. So some of it actually improves the state of the art to a much higher level, where you can, at one point, you were using Morse code or voice. Well, with the digital stuff, they've been able to improve the ability to communicate with extremely weak signals. So you can have a signal and you don't even know it's there, but you can see it on the instrument, on the digital scope. It says, hey, there's a signal there, because it can filter out the noise and the signal over time. And so you're able to communicate in a situation where you wouldn't do it otherwise. Another interesting thing that I just saw something about was where they're able to use these radio signals that are going between two different hams, let's say, and it becomes what they call a tripwire. So this guy that developed this fancy whisper software, he can detect when an airplane flies through that signal, and he knows where it is. So there was an article recently I saw on the Malaysian airline that went down, and apparently he was able to, he's worked with some people, and for some reason they're able to have enough data they were able to have a much better idea where that airplane went down because of these tripwires. Because they already knew that there was not many flights in that area, but they could use their ability to detect, and they said, well, this has got to be it, you know. So anyhow, I don't know all the details, but I just saw this on YouTube just recently, and you know, and I said, oh, well, maybe it's possible. I mean, you know, you can't believe everything, but you know, I said, hey, you know, when you tie a computer into a radio and you start looking at what the signals are coming and going, I mean, people that are really smart, they can, you know, find a needle in a haystack, you know, that kind of thing. So, I mean, so yeah, you got the opportunity to I mean, there's colleges that are sending up balloons for, you know, to do all kinds of research. We actually have a number of satellites that are built by ham radio organizations, and they're flying around the earth, so I can actually communicate through a satellite. And just, it's not reliable, I mean, in the sense that you know, it's not geostationary, so you got to wait for the satellite to come overhead, and then you can use it for maybe at the most maybe 15 minutes. But hey, you know, it's a thrill, right? You know, you send a signal up, you can actually hear your own signal coming back down again. And so yeah, there are people out there involved in ways that we weren't way back when. So we may get spread out more because of all of the different interests. It's but we still have fun, you know. So we have we got magazines, we have ham radio magazines, and they're filled with all kinds of articles, and you know, you can go on YouTube and there's all kinds of ham radio stuff on YouTube too. So and so I don't know if I answered your question, but you know, we do teach classes, and it's easy to get a license. You don't need to learn Morse code anymore. So it's really just getting the question. And you can find it, test the area, life kind of works anymore. So yeah.
I'm not sure if it's my internet or Frank's.
What's that?
Thank you, Frank. You did answer question, my question.
Yeah, good. Well, I'm glad you asked, because people wonder about that. But we some of us hide in a corner somewhere working on something, and nobody knows that we're doing this. I mean, my car's got pretty fancy antennas on it, so you know, if anybody sees my car, they know there's something going on there. You know, if they look in the window, they'll see a big radio sitting there.
Yeah.
So,
I think we got a report back from Christina's air fryer, if I'm not mistaken. Are you back in the room, Christina?
Yes. Hi, how are you? So the breakout room session, I think, went very well. We got a good sense, or at least I got a good sense of what the issue might be. But since it appears to be possibly a fuse or something that would require opening up the air fryer, it was recommended that I go possibly to a Fixit clinic in Cambridge, since it looks like it would be a little complicated to take apart on my own. So that's the current plan, but I was very happy to have everyone's help in the breakout room kind of identifying the problem.
Okay. How much fun do you want to have on your own, Christina? I mean, the other thing is I don't know if you use Discord, but we're running in parallel with these Zooms, which are scheduled. We have Discord running, and we could also meet you with the video component of Discord, or just basically set up a channel for this one device and walk you through the process of the disassembly if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'd be interested in that too, if there's any information I could get about it as well.
Okay, either email me again or I'll forward you information on the Discord server and sign up there. And I'd love to be able to have more of that going back and forth between the two mediums. So,
Christina's been kind of slightly over modest, which she actually was brave enough to plug the thing into the wall socket, get a screwdriver, press the override button, and while we all suggested this, and we kind of sat here from 8,000 miles away watching what was going to happen, to see whether it was as simple as the safety button on the door frame of this device not working. But sadly, it wasn't that simple. So we're going to have to dig deeper, aren't we, really?
Yeah, but thanks for being game, Christina. It's like you did really work on through it, and you at least troubleshot through all the things that it could be easy, but yeah, it's the next level now in repair that you're going through. But awesome that you have a plan and some ideas on what you can do next. Thanks for joining. We have only, I think, 2 breakout rooms still going. Anyone is again welcome to go to the other breakout rooms, Christina, yourself included, if you want to go see what's going on with the other breakout rooms. Otherwise, thank you for joining. And yes, please do follow up with the Discord server or your local repair cafe or Fixit clinic. But yeah, and repairs too, we have Francis's earbuds still going and Satsina's cabinets and desk, and I'm not sure which one they're on now. If anybody's been in those and has a report back, we haven't heard from either of them other than that the earbuds are being taken apart. So if you ever want to see the insides of the earbuds look like, go in the breakout room now.
So Christina, just one last,
Oh,
Christina,
Bob,
one
go
last
ahead.
comment. Yeah, I'm sorry. You did a great job. Again, if you were there with this thing plugged in with your screwdriver, if there was any dangerous part of this, that was probably it. So you passed that. Taking it apart with it unplugged, is pretty straightforward from a safety standpoint. And again, as Peter said, there's ways we can walk you through that. There may be some special screws that you need some additional things, but again, we're hoping you have a long career ahead of you of repairing things on your own, and so acquiring a few of these tools isn't all that bad. But again, you could be aided by other people around, either the maker's space that we may have talked to you about, as well as the Fixit people. So, and then switching subjects, I was in the earbud thing for a while, and Fred did a great job of taking it apart and going inside. And the last I left it, which was probably 10 minutes ago, it was now working less well than it did to start with.
Okay, so this might be
like
more
none
of
of
an
the lights were going
autopsy. Is that what you're saying, Bob?
Well, they were switching to maybe that's the end, because as you recall, it like she could plug it in and the light for the charging thing was going on, but nothing else was going on. And the last I left it, she had plugged it in and no lights were going on. So, but the fact that they're still working on it may be good news. They may be onto something else. So that was the last I heard.
Yeah, that Bob, that's called kind of retrograde fixing. The more we do to it, the worse it gets. Until eventually, yes, it's just a pile of junk. But we try not to get there, if we can.
Exactly. Yeah.
Christina, you're just starting from a good spot in that regard.
Yeah.
I do warn people that anything we do here could make it worse. That's my standard admonition.
Right.
But
and what I heard on the motorized desk, when I stopped in there, as you recall, it was going down but not up. And I think the last I heard briefly was one side now was going down, not the other side. So again, stay tuned on both of those.
That's right. I was in that room. We talked about painting cabinets for some time, and one issue is that each country has their own flavor of paint mix, and one does need local specialized advice. And so essentially I gave her my views on painting MDF, and I told her to go off and talk to specialist paint shop that will sell her some appropriate paints. But painting MDF is not inordinately difficult, and it should be all right. And the desk, yeah, it started going up on one side, going down on one side and not the other. And this is obviously a bit scary. And the next sound we'll hear is the sound of breaking chipboard on the top of the desk, I would guess. And I should say that my wife just brought this in as a different style of...
It's like the hot cross saffron bun.
Indeed, that's the one. So there we are.
It's British.
See, this
Swedish
is what happens when you
fusion
mix
food.
cultures.
Yes.
Well, here in California, we're used to having all sorts of different cultural fusions, okay? But that one, saffron, Brit fusion, love it.
Very nice. It looks good. It just looks like a supercharged saffron bun now. Lisa kept
So,
that.
so Christina, it's going to be too late for you, but the City of Boston, we are planning to have tools available to loan through library branches of the Boston Public Library. But everything's been put on hold for COVID. But I don't know, do you live near Jamaica Plain? Like, I don't know where you are in Boston.
It's not far.
Okay,
from where
yeah, I
am.
lived in Central Square in Cambridge for years and years. It's possible that they have their local toolkit at the Jamaica Plain branch, and maybe if you need something, we can figure out how to get it for you out of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks again. I'll really appreciate it.
Thanks. And anyone else who needs to go, thanks for coming. I see a few messages of people that need to take off, but thank you, Christina. Thank you.
Season's
others.
greetings. Thanks for being a contestant, Christina. Oh, Francis is back. Francis, can you report back on your Plantronics headset?
Earbuds.
Please?
Let's hear about the earbuds.
Yes, we were able to, or I was able to take it apart with a lot of help. And I cleaned it with alcohol swab to make sure that there wasn't any residue in there. But unfortunately, we were not able to fix it. It was either broken to begin with and not fixable, or else I did something while I was taking it apart and damaged some of the internal parts of it. But it was still a good experience, and I was able to meet a lot of nice people, very helpful, and so I had a lot of fun. So thank you very much.
And so Francis, the alcohol was 91% isopropyl or better?
It's 99%.
Okay, great. So you used the Q-tip, or did you use a toothbrush, like an old toothbrush?
Q-tip.
So if you're willing to, so given that you consider it a lost cause at this point, if you have an old toothbrush sitting around, soft bristle toothbrush, try doing it again with the soft bristle toothbrush, and then just let it sit aside for a little bit of time, like I don't know, couple of days or something, and just see if that changes anything before you throw it in the e-waste pile.
Okay.
Just curious.
Okay.
We also saw that the LiPo battery looked to be in good shape, and I suggested it, instead of just e-wasting it, to go list this on FreeCycle, because you never know who wants a nice little LiPo battery for their project. So I'm into the e-waste organ transplant donor program. So these devices come with donor cards. They're willing to give up their parts. Bonus project. Francis also asked about recycling some computers and how to safely get rid of her data before they go somewhere. And Charles, one of our coaches, offered to go to her house and help her take her drive out of her computers. So, yay.
Francis, I think you also mentioned at the beginning that you have an e-waste pile. And
yes.
Is there anything else in that we could help you with before it disappears?
I have some flashlights that one is like the one that you plug into a wall and it's supposed to charge. That doesn't work anymore. I don't know what else I have.
We're seeing tenders we want to see back on the next Fixit clinic show. Flashlights are not the worst, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, replacing batteries in the flashlight should be easy. We should be able to put new rechargeable batteries in the flashlight so you can keep that going if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and if you got the headset apart, you ought to be able to get the rechargeable flashlight apart as well.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute, is it an LED flashlight or is it a bulb flashlight?
It's a bulb. Yeah.
Can
So
you
it could be
switch
the
out the
bulb.
bulb?
I could probably, but
You
I've
can
never
switch out the bulb
attempted.
to an LED, then it's worth it.
Okay. It's very old, so
Uh,
I was
yeah.
just gonna.
Then it might.
Yeah.
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 Well, they do make, you could buy a LED replacement for a bayonet
Yes.
flashlight bulb, but you probably spend more. I don't know what they would, although they're probably
easy.
much more readily available today to get a replacement LED bulb to put in that. But it would be a fun thing to work on. That's about the long and short. That's the part that, you know, the fun aspect of taking it apart and putting new batteries in it, and they may even make it work with the old bulb, and then retrofit an LED into that spot. And you know, this is part of the fun of it all.
I also have a fireplace that uses gas that becomes available to us. I live in a condo, and it's all electric except for the fireplace, which is gas. And they allow gas for a month and a half during this time of year. And I was able to turn on the pilot light, but there's a switch that turns on the gas, which isn't working. So I have PG&E coming tomorrow to take a look at it. But if it's a electrical issue, I don't think they'll repair it. They'll probably just tell me to get an electrician. So, you know, I'm hoping that PG&E will be able to help me fix it, but I don't have much hope for that.
You know, Francis, we have some great Fixit coaches here, but I think once you mentioned the gas and electric part together, I don't think we're touching that.
We're not.
Well, I mean, because you would be touching it and we would just be cheering you on, and it's not.
Yeah,
So
you would
Francis,
watch me blow up.
don't get your hopes up on the PG&E thing. It sounds like you have low expectations, but one of my experiences with PG&E is one of our kids' places needed to have the gas meter repainted, you know, the gray paint. So I called them up and I asked them what color to use and where I could get the spray paint. They said, don't worry, we will send someone out. That's part of our service. We will send someone out free. So this guy arrives and he looks at it, he says, you know, geez, the last time I did this, I had some problem because I had the spray paint can sprayed in the wrong way and it sprayed into my face rather than onto the meter. So again, low expectations, but he was very happy having inhaled the stuff and all those things. So hopefully you have a better person come out for your fireplace.
Yeah, I think it depends on the repair person. I did refer one of my friends to PG&E because her water heater was broken. No, was it a water heater? Anyway, it was a big appliance and it was 40 years old. So she didn't have much hope for it. And she called a repair person and they told her it will take her $3,000 to repair. So I told her just call PG&E, at least have them check it out. They did come out and they said, you know, you just need to do this. And he did it and it worked. He goes, these things are you know, these old things last forever and it should last you another 30 years. So it saved her $3,000. You know, so I think it depends on the technician.
Keep in mind as we strive to, you know, decrease carbon emissions, that gas appliances eventually won't be replaceable, right? You won't be able to. So there might be an interesting electric replacement for that thing that gives you more efficient heat. And somehow it gives you the cozy feeling of a burning fire. I mean, already a gas fireplace is trying to create the illusion of, you know, burning dead trees. But it's going to be an interesting transition. you know, what will you do with your gas appliance? At some point, you have to decide, should I put a new one in, knowing that my local building codes might prohibit in some number of years. So might as well go to electric now, and is the right product available? So we're going to have a big problem with landfills and old gas appliances.
Yeah.
Don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be a global problem. I like the idea of having gas as a backup in case your electricity fails, but I don't know of any gas appliances these days that will work without the electricity anyway. So it's not a reasonable backup. You know, when the zombie apocalypse comes, I think I'll just start burning my neighbor's furniture. That'll be fun.
No, too dark, Wayne.
Too dark. Sorry.
Zombie
Well,
apocalypse. But
okay.
Francis, thank you for reporting back on the earbuds.
Happy
Again,
drinky
Peter
lights.
said Peter said you might try the toothbrush and the alcohol and let it sit just to see. And it sounds like you have a few other things that if you want to, we can help with. And best of luck. I hope the gas is fixable though tomorrow, but yeah, probably not something we can help us at this point. But I do see that Sadzina is back as well. Sadzina, do you want to tell us an update? What happened in your room? Where are you?
I am here. Hi. So we have a way forward with my doors, which are very creative, including potentially going to a car dealership place to ask them about spray painting. But I'm going to get a thin layer of MDF to go on front to kind of give me a smooth, just a smooth surface to work with. I'm not going to be able to do that just yet because I'm in the middle of some DIY stuff. So you'll probably get an update on that in a few months. In terms of the desk, so everybody was so helpful also with my doors. Thank you very much. Everybody was helpful. In terms of the desk, I need to take some bits apart to try lowering each side manually. And then I think I'm going to be back with this desk, potentially taking not the motor apart, but just looking inside. It's apparently to do with the limiter switch, because my desk essentially collided with some boxes that were underneath. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to be back once I've been able to take the, because I can take the motor off and kind of test it without the desk mechanism, if that makes sense, to see if it's turning. So, but it was useful. I've got a way forward. Basically, it was a really useful exercise, and everybody was so helpful. I've learned about limiter switches tonight, so thank you.
Great, thanks and it's also possible to bring this also to the Global Fixers Discord, because we can
I will do, yes.
Yeah.
I will do. I'll take quite a few pictures of what's happened, and Mike was suggesting I could make how-to guide for the next person. So the main thing is, if you have teenage children and you've told them that there were that boxes underneath the desk, do not let them use the said desk. That's my first tip. So,
well, also these things, look, those are going to happen. I have a motorized desk I'm using at this moment, and I've done that. Okay, I've had things underneath us, I've lowered it, and it's gone wonky too. I mean, these things should be designed and engineered from the get-go to be tolerant of the kinds of environment they're going to be in.
Thank you, Peter. You're being very kind.
No. This is what we should. This is my Christmas wish for all of us, that our appliances and things are made more durably and are designed for durability, maintainability, serviceability. I mean, I would hope that next year we don't have to have a repair clinic because things are made so well. Nothing needs to be fixed.
I agree with you. I gave my gas central heating engineer a bit of a TED talk on why can't we just replace parts of boilers, because they're not made to last. And that's...
I remember in my just for a quick story, in my old house in Texas, I had the house was built in 1941. And when we moved in, the hot water heater was still working. I mean, we're talking, 40 years later, it was still working fine. And when it broke in such a way that it would never turn off. So in other words, we had to get rid of it because you couldn't get parts. And it was running full tilt all the time. So literally we removed a working device because we couldn't get the parts to fix it. But yeah, and stuff was definitely made better back then. I hate to be like a broken record about that, but it's true. A lot of stuff was, there was a lot of junk, but a lot of stuff was made better, and it was easier.
And it could be again. So I think we can take Peter's Christmas wish. It's something that we're fighting for here in Europe, as well as better made products, more repairable products. I think it helps also to give this feedback, but also to give each other help in the things that are. We had a few success stories. Today we're going to have a few ongoing. And we still have Francis's e-waste pile as well, that maybe we get to see some more items from the future. But yes, we only have a few minutes more. If you need to go, I want to say thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much for bringing some light to the darkness here in Sweden that I'm sitting in. It was so great to see all of you in your Christmas, with your Christmas cheer, and to see all of the fixing and repairing and sharing of experience going on here. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. I'm going to go off now and get my dinner. It's dark here in England, you know. You haven't got a monopoly on dark.
No, we're just Scotland latitude, so.
Anyhow, see you all in the new year, and let's hope it's a better one for all of us. Good to see you all.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to go and see what I can do with this lopsided desk.
Good luck, but we welcome you back, Satsita, on Discord and here. And remember, if you want to be on Discord, please send Peter an email, or one of us that are on there an email, and we'll get you.
I was very proud of myself to be able to follow Peter's instructions, and I joined like last week. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Bye.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Jessica, thanks for another great job. This is
thank you.
I know this is the second annual.
All I have to do is hang out with great people.
No, you did a marvelous job going through this. So thanks so much, and happy holidays.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Stuart.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, all.
I was going to say, Jessica, the one thing I sort of decided I'm going to do is my next pair of shoes I buy, I'm going to buy a pair of shoes that can be fixed rather than a pair that I would just throw away when they wore out. So, and it's going to be more expensive, but then you have something that will carry you farther.
Yeah, no more, and it might be less expensive over time, too.
Exactly.
No more cobblers around. That's going to be the problem.
But we have them here in Sweden, and we give them tax reductions. So
yes, and you know that's why you guys are so. I am from over there. I left quite a while back, but we used to have trade schools. We used to have all this stuff, you know, like apprenticeships and guilds and all that. We got away from it. And I hate to say this, and we don't have apprenticeships over here. Everybody becomes like an electrician and all stuff through colleges and universities, but don't have the practice. I'm a proponent 100% for apprenticeship. We need to get back to trades. You know, it's great. Everybody has a university degree. Everybody's a doctor. It's wonderful. I love it. I have one in the family, but somebody's got to do the job. We need apprentices. We need trades to come back.
Right.
It is part of the mix.
I will say I'm very fortunate is that actually there's a shoe shop next to the building I work at a university, North Carolina State, and in the building next to my building is a old time shoe shop basically, and people take things there to get fixed, and they sell shoes.
That's
where I'm
awesome.
going.
Do you remember, Tom, when people broke their heels and they took them to the cobbler and got the heels replaced? When was the last time you heard somebody saying, "I got to drop them off to get my heels"? No. It doesn't happen, right?
No. Well, there used to be one in the mall just down the street, but they're tearing that down and it's gone. So
right.
But Tom, when I take something to the cobbler, the first thing they look at is it worth fixing? So buy a good pair of shoes that is worth fixing and repairing with a cobbler.
We've got plenty of shoe shops here that repair.
See, that's awesome. You guys are so far ahead of where I live. I mean, this is what needs to go, and this is what needs to become. We need to take this all back. You know, and just it's time for really moving things into the right direction.
Right.
So guys, see this Zoom and see the Global Fixer server as the new shop class for high school. All right, I'm getting so many high schoolers joining on Discord at this point, but really like Zoom can hold up to 300 people in one of these Zooms. any kid or anybody who wants to learn about repair is welcome to join these until we break Zoom. Basically, that's my attitude. So the more you can promote these activities as efforts to stem the tide against what you just proposed, I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking at myself as just a big kid.
But I think it actually, I'm working on a master's degree in the College of Education at the school I work at. And I really, really believe that these kind of skills are useful no matter whether you're a university student or just a regular person. There's a whole different way you learn stuff when you actually have your hands on things and you actually manipulate them and you think through things. It's just a different way of thinking about stuff. And it's just something I think everyone needs to at least try.
I look at repairs two ways. One, repairs one entropy. We cannot take this stuff any longer. We have to move ahead, stop the status quo. The other one, to me personally, over the last 18 months, repair has been chicken soup for my soul. I do something totally different in my real-time job.
Me too.
Repair has saved my psyche.
Right.
And I'm honest with you, there's so much more to repair, that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. And it doesn't matter what you repair. It's really something amazing that where the situations that can get you through.
Right. I work in software, which is all virtual. And so the repair things are the things that me really gives me a lot more, in a lot of ways, much more satisfaction than actually manipulating something in the cloud that I can't see when I can hold it. And I got this beautiful old clock.
But maybe a lot of noise has to be made for all these manufacturers that don't make the parts after 5 or 10 years. And then your equipment's obsolete, you're done.
This is part of it. This is part of what the policy part that I work with is all trying to push it.
I was reading that there's some countries
That's
that are
what we've
required
just got through with European eco design for the products that have come through it. And it's getting longer that they have to make the parts available and more specific.
Right.
There's still more to fight for on that.
How about you can sell it if you don't make parts? Samsung.
That is what
Apple,
eco design is. It is requirements to sell it on the market. They cannot sell it on the market without the parts support for, like, a washing machine is 10 years. 10 years. We want long, but yeah, it's still something, and it's not to everyone guaranteed.
But see, I have as a consumer have to know that. So I have to know, hey, you know what? Don't necessarily buy this washer because we won't make parts available to you. Or to your repair person. If I'm not capable of fixing my washer, can the repair person on the road? No, they can't. Don't buy it.
Yeah. And Mike, that's part of the repairability. The repairability index in France is part of spare parts is one of the criteria, big criteria that you're weighted on for how repairable your product is. And that's going to be there like an energy efficiency rating. So you get a color, red, bad, green,
right.
Rating out of 10, like an iFixit rating. On the product itself, and it's in France, but they're talking about doing it in the EU, so all European countries will have this as well. Yeah,
and that's why information sharing is important, right? We all need to share that information. Grateful friend, where are we in all this? So we all have to do this.
Yeah.
For one,
but I mean, France is doing it for us all because once one country does it, they're already pushing the manufacturers. So then we start seeing it go up. Boop, 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 boop. Yep.
Well, you got to push back from the environmental people, because one thing, take for instance, television sets. If you look at the energy consumption of a television set from let's say 10 years ago to now, and you look at the amount of energy that the new sets use versus the old ones, it's like at least a 10x difference and maybe a 100x difference if you go back far enough. So in some cases, fixing the TV, may be nice
but you have to be specific on that. So televisions still know, because their life cycle now has switched over to where majority of it is still in the production, or is in the production, not in the use, because they've become so energy efficient. So then you still, even though they're so energy efficient, you want to use them as long as possible, because their backpack of embedded climate emissions is back in the production. It's the same thing for mobile phones. When you look at how long you need to actually keep them to make back that production, it's like 20 years. We're not using our phones that long. It's very few products that actually have this problem that you're talking about, Frank. It's light bulbs at this point, and some, refrigerators. So it's very specific products that's true. And I think that the environmental groups need to update a little bit on that. Because the ones that have seen a life cycle assessment get it. That it is not a trade-off anymore. And when it is, it's a trade-off between your material and toxicity impacts and your climate impacts. It's still not a straight question of better.
But Jessica, does it then not come back to the consumer? Do I need to get another new iPhone? I just got one 8 months ago.
That is definitely part of it.
What's wrong with my iPhone 8? Why do I have to have a 13? So is it not then up to us to kind of say, stop the nonsense, stop the buying, use what you got, use it for as long as you can. If it truly, and I don't believe in if it breaks, there's no such thing as if it breaks. My pickup truck has 260,000 miles on it, and I'm going to drive that beast until I don't know when. And we have to stop being wasteful as consumers.
Yeah. It is both. I mean, but I don't think the consumer is going to take it to the manufacturer on requiring the spare parts and that sort of or being able to require the repairability. So there's where I come in as it needs to be a policy there. But yeah, totally, because that's what the manufacturers are also saying to the policymakers. It's not us, it's the consumers want this. Demand innovation.
Yeah.
I think we have to start being innovation for what?
Yeah.
I also would expect a level of reliability. When I graduated from college in 1982, I bought myself a TV. And when I got my new TV, I gave away the old TV. It was still working. A year and a half after I bought my brand new TV, the TV died. A year and a half. It lasted a year and a half.
Yeah. Yep. And this is something that we assume that something new is going to last longer than something old that has been repaired. And as we've been talking, that is definitely not always a safe assumption. But I want to make sure we're at 9 o'clock here in Sweden. So we are at our 2 hours. So I want to make sure that we have time to keep this discussion going in future Fixit clinics online or Discord. But I just want to say it's so great to see you all. And yes, I will see you at the next one.
All right, you guys, you all have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks,
and
You too.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Have a happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Cheers.
Happy holiday, everyone.
Bye.
Holidays.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Jessica, as
everyone.
always.
Happy
Jessica,
holidays.
great smile, Jessica. Bye-bye from Fishkill.
Bye, Frank. All right, and I am going to formally end the meeting now. Thank you so much, Pete. I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas as well.
Same to you. Thank you. Thank you as always, Jessica, for everything you do.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye,
Jessica.
Madeline. Bye, Aaron.
Bye, Peter. Bye,
Peter.
Bye, Ted.
Bye. Bye. I'm looking forward to the next Brampton event. See you.
January.
Oh, that's perfect. Then it's the next stop. I should have said that's the next stop, but we will send out a follow-up.
Awesome. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.